welcome to another edition of XFeed. What's up? My name's The Schiller, and we're going to have a conversation, specifically one around something that was supposed to be fixed from Web3 Rails, but it's something arguably that Web 2 hasn't even really gotten, but maybe it's a problem of just everybody kind of being in their own silos. So take a look at this article that came out. When the hell did this come out? Is there a date? April 28th. So this was yesterday. Web3 games with one wallet, still the vision for players, coming from the Sandbox co-founder Arthur Madrid. Think of all the games that you're in right now. You have an email account, and then you have to go out. You have to make an Epic Games. You have to make a Blizzard Entertainment. You have to insert whatever game you want. Xbox ID, PlayStation ID, every single app. There's nothing. I mean, arguably some of them allow you to just use your Google account, but there's a lot of combinations that you need to have. But then for Web3 gaming, we're now having titles such as this. One wallet for all the games. Does this come into a barrier where everybody says in Web3 we're supposed to be open and interoperable? Or does this go into the case of similarly, somewhat, to how it is within traditional games where it's like you are siloed within our space and that's just the way things are going to stay? A little bit of food for thought for you as well. If you do want to watch over on Abstract, we are live on there. It's abs.xyz/stream/Schiller. Phenomenal. So, holy smokes, we're in tax loss season, I think. Because this person spent a hell of a lot more, but the one-of-one left-facing Pudgy Penguin, yo, Fire Badger, how are we doing? Just moved for 200 WETH. People saying that this is down like 50% from when they originally bought it. Was it an insane acquisition at the time? But the questions around it, I'm just going to assume this is something to do with a tax loss. And to the conversation we had yesterday, if you happen to watch the stream, thank you so much. But we made the reference when somebody asked, would you take a Bored Ape or would you take 6 mutants? And we said at the time, I would just take a whole bunch of the smaller ones because then it could imagine this person, a little bit different situation, but imagine if they just swept the Pudgy Penguin floor instead of buying a singular asset. Think of the different benefits they would have had through airdrops, through everything. Unbelievable. It's crazy. And then there was this back and forth of somebody saying it ain't a one-of-one. Yeah, it's the only left-facing Pudgy Penguin in the collection. And then their response was, well, it's rarity rank 3. What? So? What the hell does the rarity rank have to do with the fact that of it being like a one-of-one? That doesn't that doesn't make any sense. But more news out of Tyler Did It. Great crypto follow out there. And of course, everybody I follow, for some reason it says follow back, but I'll refresh the page and then it works. Anyway, wow, massive news out of Ledger, the hardware wallet provider. They just enabled 5 to 10% yield on stablecoins held via self-custody with the help of Kiln. Kiln abstracts away the connection of various DeFi lending protocols like Aave in the backend, enabling yield directly in the Ledger Live app. Nice. So I had a question from somebody the other day. It was like, where do I stake ETH or stablecoins or anything? And off the top of my head, I'm like, damn, you know what? I haven't actually looked around to see what DeFi platforms offer the best numbers out there, but seeing that there's aggregators of this sort, and obviously for I think pretty much every crypto exchange, they offer yield in some sort for most of the bigger collection, or I shouldn't say collections, coins, this isn't NFTs, that are out there. So very, very cool to see that from Ledger. Sarah's saying, no lie, I'm not even excited for this at all. It's a question for you. Do you guys feel that the Star Wars brand has gotten cheapified at all? Now, there's questions about some of the releases not being that great. Obviously, they have various games every single year that are released on top of the fact that they have collaborations with a whole bunch of other IPs, and Fortnite being one of those. And I mean, I don't know. I still feel that Star Wars always has the pull no matter what. Yo, Roar, what's up, crypto bros? Hell yeah. How we doing? So do you feel the Star Wars brand has been cheapened at all? Or is it, you know what? There's no way you could cheap out on Star Wars. The people aren't ready for a post-work society. Ooh, we're getting a little bit serious here. The acceleration is surprising even me. is surprising even me. Within 7 years, about 75% of the jobs we now know will be replaced by AI and robotics. There's a very clear bifurcation in outcomes in my head, but I can't fully grasp all the consequences. And I think this is absolutely huge. And like in Canada, we had an election yesterday, and everybody's got all these different takes on things, you know, looking at the US, looking around the world, who do you want to elect and all this kind of stuff. And it's, you know, we talk about the problems like right now in society for different age groups and whatnot, but this is such a big deal that I feel like nobody is talking about whatsoever. Like we go into these elections and it's all, you know, your obvious typical election things from anywhere in the world, but it is crazy. What does it look like when work is very, very limited to specific niches? Because we see AI moving, and a lot of people don't realize how fast it's happening. We hope so. We will go on adventures with our AI robots. Let's go. Yo, Roar's in love with it. Hell yeah. So Justin Trimble had an interesting prompt into ChatGPT. What are the most undervalued NFT collections? Just list the names. And within this, I don't even know some of these, but I do know some of the others. So OX Mons, Avastars, Cryptodes, Mutant Garden Cedar, Terraforms, Mooncats, Curio Cards, Rare Pepes, Chromie Squiggles, and On-Chain Monkey. So where did these come up from? Why, did they highlight these in particular? Squiggled out from Art Blocks, just a super historical collection. Cryptodes, the artist Gremlin made them. I'm trying to remember what exactly made these so ecstatic. They did the CCO, which just means like anybody can build on the IP around it. Moonbirds did it, then it went super horribly, and then they're now rescinding it under Yuga Labs. And I guess we could bring up these just to show you exactly what these look like. So if you're wanting to, you know, catch a vibe, these were going for multiple ETH at a point. But again, they're just cryptodes. They're crypto toads. You get it? And then going through some of the other ones, Avastars, this was one of the first, I think, on-chain. Yeah, generative PFP NFT stored entirely on the blockchain established in 2020. So that was the big narrative around them. I don't know if the Jimmy guy is still around. He was a notable person like Pranksinger and the person that was really pushing these, and I think the creator of it overall, but I haven't seen them. And I haven't seen Guy Syrian or a lot of other people associated with Yuga in various ways. I wonder why that is. Maybe we got to do a little bit of an investigation one day. But interesting to see what AI says are the most undervalued NFTs, and almost all of them highlighted were some form of historical NFT for one reason or another. Just in the United Kingdom to collaborate with the US to boost adoption of cryptocurrency. Yesterday we went over news where Animoca Brands was doing something with like the UK as a whole, trying to boost their crypto endeavors of various sorts, and then seeing these headlines. In Canada, I haven't seen a lick or a spill about crypto. And when we talk about these AI agents, right, and if we're trying to have an open mind about this, and we say, all right, well, what's the big thing with AI agents? Well, they can't have a bank account. They're natively run on crypto. And if we're saying, you know, everything's going within the realm of AI, these agents are going to do things for us, what is the economy that builds around all of this? The new businesses are started, and you know, we say that AI is going to take them over, but that doesn't mean that humans aren't trying to facilitate, set these things up. And I mean, I think within the AI movement, crypto is going to play a huge part, but it's not talked about too much. So that I played Cambria for 2 weeks straight, and I did a lot of transactions. I think Luca is ignoring Cambria for their XP. I hope there will be compensation for this. The audience of this quality game, which has reached nearly 50,000 players, could love the abstract chain more. So this is something I've seen on the timeline, and if you don't know, you can go out there and participate by using different abstract apps, making transactions, purchasing NFTs, what have you, playing some of the games as per Cambria, and you'll get this XP. And the XP idea is that eventually, whenever they do the abstract token, that depending on your XP, you would get a allocation of some sort. And so why is it arguably that one game potentially is not getting the focus. And the only thing that I can think of is Cambria's on two different chains. It's on Ronin Network as well as Blast. And there was a ton of XP given out for people on Abstract. Like my XP for those weeks that I played Cambria absolutely mooned. But I'm curious if Abstract is paying attention to this and really trying to only reward chains that are exclusively on Abstract. So something to watch for on that front. Inhuman, this game raised $10 million, the most funding undisclosed. Been in development for multiple years, allegedly. Has their native token live for over a year now. Why is that? Another 8-figure alpha build. If you invested in this, you were robbed. Thanks for playing Engines of Fury. Does it not just seem like there's everything that keeps going wrong within Web3 gaming or something along those lines? And I know, listen, we've tried preaching, saying we think that there's going to be revolutions from esports to people owning their own assets, and I think at some point that it will. But it is tough to watch the amount of money that's getting poured into these experiences and games that just seem to end up falling short. We have to be real here. Cambria had multiple multi-accounts, so this numbers can't be taken seriously. This guy needs to be more transparent on their Twitter posts. That would be interesting, but I mean, you would have different abstract passes for it, and you're still making the transactions either way. So I think you can say, sure, bots are doing it, but in the same time, it's still raking through transactions and what they're wanting. But I mean, that person could have been multi-accounting, but I don't know for sure. Wow, this is beautiful fame, Engines of Fury. I didn't play it. Yeah, but I mean, I guess they're saying that this game hasn't gotten any tractions, and this, is it called Left 4 Dead? No, it's not called Left 4 Dead. There was some game that you could buy on Steam that was sort of to do with like a zombie apocalypse. It wasn't Day Zero, but it kind of reminds me of that, with just like the walking through here. But apparently $10 million in the game hasn't really done anything, which is sort of tough. Persona Journey. Do you guys remember Persona Journey? If not, let me bring up their media here and see if we can get a little bit of a reminder, because these were avatar collections that came out, and these sort of got the... well, these guys are like looking like Azuki, but it's in their own style. And I'm like, you know what? I think they're kind of cool. Like the art style for all of them are pretty good, except for the fact that they don't have many of just the straight up avatars. It seems like it's everything under the sun. We got base t-shirts. When are they going to show just an avatar? They keep showing a ton of the women one. Oh, there's a couple of dudes just trying to show like examples of it overall. So again, it's a certain sort of look for it, but I haven't seen a whole lot about it. But here's some updates. We're about to launch HANA Studios. It's the first AI studios for Web3 by Web3. Okay. Access the latest AI video and image models. Level up your content easily with HANA's custom presets. No fiat paywall. No subscription. Pay in Una and HANA, which is like their native token, or any of your favorite NFT collections tokens. Ooh, okay. Go ahead of the pack and join the waitlist now. So curious, what is this? You always got to check and make sure it's the right link. You know what I mean? So take a quick peek at it. In other hand, RavenQuest is standing still with diamond hands, no multi-account, only real players maintaining, still optimistic. Hell yeah, Roar. Love it. Okay, so upload the NFT and write your prompt. And then it will, I don't know what it'll do. It'll do something, but I guess it'll create videos. They have Pengu on here. Yeah, I don't know some of these other ones. I think that's Anime Coin, Ape Chain. That one looks familiar. This one looks familiar. I want to say that it's, Anime Coin. No, that's Anime Coin. No, it's not. I have no idea. These things are insane. Do you play 7-bit? Okay, so Buffalo Space, I'm confused as hell. And I think you were here when we went over like the conversation, but was that not called Ragnarok or something completely different before, but it's still around and now done as 777 or 7-bit? I don't get it. Okay, so Truth, shout out Truth. I know sometimes checks out the stream, hell yeah. But just a reminder, if you're friends with anybody, if you see me and you get a DM from me, 9 times out of 10, it's not me. It's probably not me. You know what I mean? Like, You ever want to message me, say hi, feel free. But like, if I'm ever reaching out, listen, we got problems. Unless there's like an actual reason we're going to do something, we're having a topical conversation, realize that there's a lot of impersonators out there. And if for whatever reason we haven't talked before and all of a sudden I'm super friendly and then I'm like, hey, give me a couple of dollars or something, that's nope. And no, I'm telling you how we doing. No, it's another game on that pretty much flopped. Ragnarok is another thing. Ragnarok Landverse, which is Ronin, I guess. Okay. I don't know. Listen, Roar, I don't know. I still think that it looked super familiar. I'm telling you, it looked super familiar. Okay, so here's a psycho. Giants rookie running back Cam Scatabo used to run into telephone poles to prepare himself for football. Listen, why are we not having this as like a determination for whitelist? On the most desired whitelist, you're putting on the pads and you're running in the telephone. If you live, you get a whitelist. If you get knocked out or anything like that, you're off the whitelist. Drew! Volta and Ultra embark on strategic partnership to power the future of gaming and finance. I've heard of Ultra. I think this is like a Web3 Steam sort of deal. Volta, I got absolutely no idea what the hell that is. But within here, you're scrolling, right? And then we get into like the good price predictions, sort of price predictions. Gus Van Rijksvoorcel, CEO of Ultra, shared, in quotes, by 2030, the Web3 gaming market is expected to grow to $615 billion. Outpacing both movies and TV exponentially and signaling a major shift in how consumers engage with their entertainment. To harness this potential, the gaming industry needs better infrastructure designed for publishers, developers, and gamers, and we're here to deliver that. We're laser focused on creating the content and instructional partnerships necessary to make Ultra the gaming platform recognized by the gaming industry. Volta is a major brick on that path, and this partnership is a solid foundation on which we will build the future of gaming and finance, and at the core of this lasting partnership is a mutual alignment on our long-term interests. Have you met my man, Rodney Mullins? So let's stop and talk about this for a second. So do you think that Ultra will be the de facto winner within the Web2 gaming companies? For argument's sake, let's say most of you say no. Okay, so do we think that Immutable X and all of their stuff is going to be the de facto place that goes for all of these major gaming brands? Let's argue and say no. Is it Ronin Network that is the de facto place to go for all of these major gaming studios? Let's argue no. Okay? Because I think that it's going to be everyone under the sun. I think that it's just going to be games are popular. They'll end up being on certain platforms. If what we saw earlier with Sandbox, where they're arguing about the wallet and you can use it across all these different platforms, that's the sort of idea. If a game's good and it can bring, transactions, whatever, use the any token sort of economy, which we're seeing consistently. Futureverse is working on that. We saw with the Hannah Labs whatever the hell the thing just was with Persona Journey. I forgot the name already for it, but they showcased, hey, we have a whole bunch of different tokens that we accept for this. I really think the future is going to end up being open of various sorts, and that will be very interesting to watch. But some of them will also try to have a closed garden or some sort of white glove handling for this, and I don't know. It's cool to think about, though, because when you look at 2030, so we're talking like 5 years, we're supposed to grow to $615 billion, outpacing both movies and TV exponentially. That's the quote of the day. That's what we do. Yo, what in the halibut? It's Oonzy up in the house. What are we doing, Brumalachi? Have you ever heard of Ultra? Actually, Ultra Web3. Let's go and look at this. So as an example, right? Because I'm going to guess some of you haven't looked at this before. Your game's one Ultra platform. We can install now. They have Ashes of Mankind. It's a high-stakes competitive PvP, PvE tactical survival set in a dystopian future. Okay. Champions Tactics. This looks like the game that was supposed to be Champions Ascension, but maybe they changed it up, or it's just a very similar name. They have GPT Wars. Okay, are we talking like Chat GPT or something totally different? Open image. Can we just open the new tab? We got Fuse War. We got Polygunners. We got Kanata Inu. Domination. So we open that just there. This game contains mature content. All right, listen, I'm not going to open that on here just in case we don't know what's going to show up. You know what I'm saying? So GPT Wars is a first-person shooter survival game on Ton. So Ultra, I think, is any blockchain, I'm guessing, because I don't think Ultra's it, but they have their own token. Set in a dystopian future, players face waves of robots to survive. Okay, so this is, I don't know, it's like Call of Duty Zombies sort of, but like obviously not. Fuse War, experience Fuse War, a thrilling Unreal Engine 5 shooter by Symbiotic Creatives. Enjoy Web2 multiplayer action with the full Web3 blockchain experience. Join battles, test skills, and dominate. This doesn't even mention what chain that it's on at all. And we have just the, I don't know what we call this. Is this like a Destiny sort of Halo experience? I guess we can call it that. I'm going to go back and see if there's anything else we can take a look at. Oh. Relevance, release date, special offers. Oh, and you can also like buy some of these. So this one you can buy for like $22. Forgive me, Father. How long can you last? Okay. This looks like a Borderlands type of deal going on here. I imagine J.J. Jameson saying next. I mean, like, the graphics is kind of cool, like, in the sense that it's just, like, not your typical game, if you will. We have memes at war. Everything's a first-person shooter, too. Have you ever noticed that? This is, like, a Grand Theft Auto type, what do I want to call this? Apex Legends? I don't know why this reminds me of Apex Legends, but everything's a first-person shooter. Like, my goodness. Cards of Eternity, Wheel of Time, Whispers of Decay. Okay, this one's a role-playing game. It's a little bit different. Discover the massive world of Kogia in this cross-platform MMORPG. Craft, battle, and find a way to survive this universe with your Cryptomon team. So we have the dogs that were in Harry Potter, you know, Fluffy. And then we have World of Warcraft type looking deal here with the monsters, something following you. This kind of gives me like the it's not Zerpmon. What's the Isles of, oh my God, what's the thing that Shen and them are building? Tamed an Island, something along those lines. You going to give me Chrono Forge ago? I have no idea. Untamed Isles. Have you met my man, Rodney Mullins? Legend. True. I don't understand. So is Chrono Forge just like we can jump in Ruddyverse and then the game can be played, or do we need to download it? I feel like it's kind of just like randomly brought up. Oh, okay. So Dark Country. This is something Jeremy brought up forever ago. American Gothic card game where assets are owned by gamers. I remember giving this a try. A little bit dark kind of vibes. So if you're in the mood for a horror show, this one's definitely for you, but different components to it, as it shows that they have raids, defends, they have different capacity for meat stone lumber within a warehouse, but then it's also a card game. So it's got different components to it. Can we see like anything else out here that's like, yes, this is super popular. Okay, so they have one sports game on here, Versus X. Oh, I remember Versus X. Play, wager, win. I haven't seen this in like quite some time, to be totally honest with you. But this was a platform that they had various games, and it was like Wii Sports. But it's not, I don't think it's the same where you take like the shtick and you wave it around. It's like you're playing off the keyboard. So they have pool, they have golf, the Hunger Games looking thing. A lot of golf going on in there. That one's free. That's their only sports game on the entire platform. I remember DC made a Dark Western version of my 8 for my avatar for that game. Yo, did they? Hell yeah. Any chance if you know if it's being used or not? So if we go to online multiplayer, because that's the games we could collectively all get into. Block Lords, that sounds familiar. I don't know why. Forge your legacy in a medieval world where strategy, power, and player decisions reign true. This is like Rome Total War. This is giving like hardcore Rome Total War vibes, except for the fact that they have like these single characters that are moving. Because in Rome Total War, it's like just chaos. No chot. True. Medieval Empires. We got a strategy game in here. So again, this is just an idea, right? Like I'm showing you the Ultra Games platform. They're advisor, CEO, whatever, saying that the industry's gonna go over 650 billion. We're trying to get all the big dogs in here. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, maybe they do. What do you think of all these games? It's also awkward because it feels like a lot of games kind of blend together unless there's one that like all of your buddies want to play. If Unzi's like, yo, you want to play a league? I'm like, hell yeah, brother, type of deal. We need that sort of situation. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Guys, thank you so much for tuning on in. Hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. If you're watching the NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, any of that kind of stuff, absolutely have the time of your life tonight. Buffalo Space, thank you so much for coming on through. Hoonsy as well. Do I want to play league? Listen, I gotta think about it. Probably. You give me like 5 minutes. Yeah, probably. Rodney Mullins, appreciate it. Roar, as always coming through. Thanks for the best international stream. Yo, it's crazy international. A little bit of pop pull going on. And Tali, appreciate coming through as well. Thank you. And yeah, that's it. Peace.